Okay, today's lesson is going to be on pancakes, and I'm not sure when I'm going to post this to the blog, but I'm going to show you how to make it today, and we'll get it up there sometime. This is a recipe that I adapted from Runner's World. It was a recipe for pancakes, I believe, that Dina Castor, an Olympian marathon runner, uses, and I like them very much, so I want to go ahead right away. I mean, I have the ingredients in front of me, but one of the main ingredients, or two main ingredients, are oat bran, the loose oat bran that you've seen me use before, and whole wheat flour. But she used cut oats, I think, or steel oats. So you put 3/4 cups of the loose oat bran, and in her recipe, you soaked it in liquid for a while. Shoot, and I was like, I have everything, I'm going to measure for you. I even have my recipe notes, but I don't know how much water I put in. I just cover up the oat bran with water. So, you cover it up, and they say to let it sit for a little while, and I think it's probably not necessary for the oat bran, really, but we'll do it anyway while I'm explaining the rest of it to you. So, the ingredients are the oat bran, and I won't need any more of that. And then the whole wheat flour, which I will measure out. I have the recipe by grams, so it's 56 grams of whole wheat flour. And I use the sugar-free vanilla syrup. I use a little bit of egg beaters. I use a little bit of not Splenda, baking powder, no sugar added applesauce, and a skim milk. And again, I think there's something different about the consistency of these lactate-free milks. So you might do well to use them in these baking recipes. Okay. So I have a little scale. Oh, I want to tell you, if you have pets, it's a really good idea before you make anything to use a lint brush and get the pet hair off of you. Your friends, if you share your food, will appreciate that too. So, there. That's done. I turn my scale on. I'm going to measure out 56 grams of the whole wheat flour, and I'll put the recipe on. I'll post the ingredients when I do the blog. If you have a scale, you know that you can use the tare button so you don't get the weight of the cup. Oh, too much. 56 grams of the flour, and then, according to my notes here, I use 1/4 cup of skim milk. I'll go ahead and pour that out. And then I use about 1/8 cup of the egg and 1/4 cup of the applesauce. It's a new carton. And what you do when you mix all these things together, I use a whisk, and then you put the bowl into the refrigerator and chill it for at least a ½ hour or longer. Sometimes I'll, set this aside, and in the evening I'll make the pancakes. And I'll show you that. I'll cut the video off and show you how that works later. So I think this is probably fine. So I'm going to use my whisk. Going to add the applesauce, the milk that I just spilled some of it on the counter. I don't know, a tablespoon or so of this. I'm just using what was left in my bottle. A little bit of egg beaters. Is there something about a messy cook is a good cook? Or maybe I just made that up. Works for me. The baking powder, I don't know. A big spoonful. Baking powder. Cinnamon, some dashes. And the not Splenda. I actually think 1/4 cup is good. And I still have the same ½ cup measuring scoop in here, so obviously I'm not going to use that much, just a little bit. And That's everything with the wheat flour. So whisk it, and then you can add the flour, and then you determine how thick or thin you want them. So I'm going to add, you guys are going to kill me, I'm going to add a splash of water. Adding water. See, I want to give you concepts on how to cook things, and then you use your imagination, but I'm mostly wanting you to get the idea that you can cook things without adding a lot of fat to them or sugar, and they're tasty, and you can be creative, and you can cut things out that you don't have to have butter, you don't have to have cream. There's so many things that you don't have to have. No oil in these pancakes. And again, I use the egg beaters just because I don't want to waste a dozen of real eggs. Alright, so I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, let it chill for a while, and then we'll do another video where I briefly, I'll show you how they look and put them on the grill, and then I'll show you how I serve them, because after I bake them, grill them, I freeze them, and then I just pull out little packets of pancakes when I want them in the morning.